When it comes to NBA superstar James Harden, it's no secret I am not a big fan of this guy. The way he operates off the court, his trade demands, his play style back in the day, taking 45 dribbles, chucking up a shot, and of course, worst of all, him giving up on teams, players, and coaches at the drop of a hat. And as you guys could have guessed, with James Harden going to the Clippers yet again, I am not a fan of this move or him on this roster. As looking at their overall team, Kawhi Leonard, 32 years old, going on 40. Paul George has knees made of dust. And then James Harden, the worst superstar playoff player we've seen in the past 15 years. And James Harden's overall prime, it's either firmly ended or just about to end. And looking back on his career, the closest ever to come to a championship was 2018 in the West Finals in Game 7. James Harden never again is going to come that close to winning a championship. And on those Rockets teams, Harden, he was by far the most ball-dominant superstar in the NBA and possibly all time. As every single night, it was the James Harden show. He has the ball for 45 minutes out of 48 and does what he wants. That overall style of basketball does not win championships. Can it win games? Yes. Even some playoff series, maybe it does. But in terms of championships, winning 16 playoff games, 4 straight rounds, it does not. Because in the playoff time, that overall style of play becomes highly predictable, redundant, and very easy to guard. The problem with James Harden's career, he likes to do it one way and one way only. That's the James Harden way. And look, I'll give him some credit. He has played the good soldier sometimes, adapting more of a point guard role, 20 points and assists, not going for 30 every single night. But that type of James Harden, it may last for 6 months, even a year, but never past that. Because in the end, James Harden, what he wants is to be Houston James Harden taking 35 shots a night. That's why Ime Udoka, the new coach of the Rockets, didn't want Harden this summer. Because he knew this guy cared more about a scoring title than actually winning. That is James Harden in a nutshell. Individual stats over championships. And you combine that overall mindset with decline in speed, health, stamina, and really defensive effort. This version of James Harden is not a winning type player. That's why the Clippers trading for Harden, with all the extra baggage, extra junk, really does boggle the mind. Because look, if I know it, you know it, the GMs have to know it even more than we do. And the Clippers pulling the trigger on this deal, for some unknown reason, is the most Clipper move of all time. In typical James Harden fashion, as an introductory press conference, he had a quote for the ages, saying, "I'm not a system player, I'm the system." Maybe, just maybe, the most out-of-touch comment ever from an NBA star, as that quote, 100% egotistical and throwing shade at Doc Rivers. And look, Doc, not the greatest coach in the world, of course. He was an NBA champion. But when it comes to James Harden, him being a playmaker in Philly, what does he think he's going to be in Los Angeles? You have Kawhi Leonard, needs the ball. Paul George needs the ball. Russell Westbrook needs the ball. Someone like Bones Highland needs the ball. Norm Powell also needs the ball. And Harden, of course, needs the ball. Harden in Philly would have had a much bigger role, less of a system player, than in Los Angeles. That's why this trade for the Clippers, even for Harden himself, really makes no sense. And looking at last year's playoffs, when James Harden was scoring 45 points in Game 5 versus Boston, that overall system, he could have cared less about it. Because when he was scoring, playing great, it didn't matter. But when Philly lost Game 7 with Harden going MIA, blowing that series, then all of a sudden the system was a problem for James Harden. Again, going to show this guy cares more about me than actual we. And dating back to Houston, even Brooklyn, James Harden not once has taken accountability for his own actions on and off the court. And the overall sheer delusion this guy has, thinking he's going to get 20-25 shots in Los Angeles, it really is next level. And quite honestly, if I were James Harden, actually cared about winning, I would have stayed in Philly in the East with Joel Embiid. Because first off, with Joel, you won't get most of the blame if your team loses. Secondly, the Eastern Conference is pretty top-heavy. And lastly, maybe, just maybe somehow, teams get injured, banged up, and Philadelphia slides into the East Finals. Maybe that could have happened. But in Los Angeles, there was absolutely no way, not a chance in this world the Clippers made the West Finals. And when James Harden was at his peak in 2018-2019, a lot of debates we heard were James Harden versus Dwayne Wade, and younger fans arguing Harden was actually better. Look, I hope now, 4 years removed from that, those fans understand James Harden is no Dwayne Wade and no Allen Iverson. As quiet as kept Dwayne Wade was super unselfish and sacrificed numerous times to win championships. Look back at 2012 of the Heat. Dwayne Wade took a step back offensively to let LeBron James be the number one option and lead that team. And look, for D Wade, that took a lot of guts to do that, because he at that point were his franchise, his team, and already had one championship in 2006. Could you imagine James Harden making a move like that in his prime to win championships? I can't, because he didn't. And Wade's overall unselfishness, of course, paid off with 2 more championships and 4 straight finals appearances. And Dwayne Wade's overall accolades, at this point and going forward, are going to dwarf James Harden till the end of time. Even looking at Iverson versus James Harden, you can look at the stats, accolades all day long. Go knock yourself out. But the one thing Iverson had that James Harden simply never had was actual heart. As when Iverson played back in his day, he wasn't as unselfish as Dwayne Wade. But when he got on the court, 100% going to give it his all, not pack it in, and not give up on his teammates. Compared to James Harden, who's quit not once, not twice, but 3 times in the last 5 years. If there's any Clippers fans out there, and you guys exist, I definitely feel bad for you guys making this trade. And for Russ fans, I feel even worse. As Westbrook finally was finding his footing, reviving his image, and once becoming an effective NBA player. Now with Harden coming in, he's the 4th option, pushed back, and kind of sidelined as a major piece for the Clippers. Definitely unfortunate. All in all, for the Clippers, this is one small chapter in a lifelong legacy of losing. And for James Harden, honestly, he deserves the Clippers, and the Clippers deserve James Harden. So that right there is the end of the video. As always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.